SMT Nation, we back. We're here to talk about networking and specifically Verizon and AT&T. And actually, we could throw T-Mobile in the mix too. All right, let's start first with the obvious. 2023 is going to be a year where the carriers get all of their C-band. Slated for the end of 2023, you're going to see Verizon get all of its C-band made available to them, completely repacked and moved over from satellite operations over to cellular use. So Verizon will move from 60 megahertz nationwide, or I shouldn't say nationwide, top 46 PAs, throw in the additional 30 or so markets they've been early clearing with SAT operators, and have moved to 100 megahertz of spectrum. Across the board, with the additional C band, they're going to be up to like 140, 160, 180, 200 megahertz, depending on the market. AT&T is going to have the rest of theirs, right? So they'll get an additional 40 megahertz on top of their already 40 megahertz. So that'll put them to 80 with, I think, just a couple of markets that have maybe 100. Actually, it's Dallas sticks in my mind, but I don't know if there's anything else. And then they've got the DoD at 40 megahertz that's live now. And they'll be aggregating those at some point this year with a standalone core. So Verizon moving to a standalone core, getting all their C-band. AT&T moving to a standalone core, getting the rest of their C-band on top of what they already have, plus the DoD. Their networks are going to get a lot faster. All right, more spectrum, 10 gig backhaul, yada yada, creating more capacity. Now, something that's ongoing for AT&T is they've moved some of their old HSPA spectrum, right, in the 850 megahertz frequency band, band 5. They've moved some of that to their N5. So those channels have deepened too and gotten faster. Now, this is going to happen at Verizon as well. So here is a map of Ohio. I'll show you guys something here. This is the 800 frequency band, band 5, or 850, I should say. And you'll see you've got licenses for Verizon all over Ohio. This dates back probably to the Altel acquisition, along with whatever regional carriers you guys will see in these other places as well. So where AT&T doesn't have all the 850, Verizon has it all, usually. There's some places where US Cellular gets involved too, and they own like 10 megahertz or something. I don't know. It depends on the place. Like if you were to go to the rest of the Midwest, you'll see that. So additionally here, Verizon has been using about 10 megahertz, downlink and uplink of 850 on 3G. That's getting shut down as we speak. It's December 30th, folks. That shutdown, I think, is slated for January 3rd. That spectrum immediately is going to be put to use on LTE and 5G. I'm guessing they're going to continue to DSS. Dynamic spectrum sharing, those channels will be shared between LTE and 5G. Unless something changes, maybe we see them move away from DSS and they go completely standalone band 5 or N5, a 5G channel for 850 megahertz. I think they should go ahead and just do that. Forget the DSS. Whoever wants to be on LTE, keep an LTE phone. They can be on band 13 for low band. It's nationwide. Every tower has it. Well, whatever. Who cares? The rest of it, you still got band 2 on LTE. You still got band 66 on LTE. There's still spectrum there. Just go ahead and make that low band channel a nice deep 20 by 20 or 25 by 25, whatever their licenses are, which they hold quite a bit here in Ohio. All right, you'll see here. Here's that first block, block A, and then here's the second block, right? So here's Cleveland. You'll see we've got the whole shebang, right? We've got all that spectrum. AT&T doesn't own any 850 in this region. They do outside of this region, right? So once I leave my county, AT&T has 10 megahertz of band 5. And then I think Verizon has 10. But in my county, Verizon's got 20 by 20, right? So they got 40 megahertz, I believe, unless it's more. And I don't know how to read this frickin' thing, this key here. But that's what you're going to be seeing, a refarming of 3G spectrum for Verizon across many parts of the country. So that'll make the channels better, deeper. More spectrum means more speed and capacity on the low band. And AT&T's ongoing doing the same. I think they've done a lot of that refarm for band 5 already, moving away from HSPA earlier in the year. And then I don't want to leave T-Mobile out of this because T-Mobile, they get access to their C-band in the C block at the end of this year as well. The only concern I have is whether or not they are ready to start spending money to upgrade tower sites with those radios and antennas. They might even still be waiting on certain types of gear, certain radio gear that can aggregate both parts of the C-band. All right, so N77 has two frequencies in it. It's got the 3.45 gigahertz DoD, and it's got the 3.7 gigahertz, what they call C-band. All right, so you got an upper and a lower part of that channel. They're probably waiting to get a single radio that can do both of those frequencies in aggregate for just whatever, spectrum they have. So like in some places they got 40 megahertz at 3700, and then in some places they've got, I think, either 20, 30, or 40 of the 3450. So like whatever those licenses are in certain places, they're going to want to be upgrading those radios and taking advantage of both of those frequencies together for their N77. So the networks, I know a lot of people have concerns about capacity. In my opinion, I think 2023 is going to be a good year for capacity increases as we see more and more tower sites get upgraded, the densification process ongoing and continuing, the carrier spending money to upgrade backhaul fiber circuits to tower sites, as well as just, small cell densification, more spectrum on air, more capacity, right? So I know a lot of people have concerns about Verizon and T-Mobile with fixed wireless access. We'll see how that plays out this year, but there is help on the way. There is spectrum on the way, and those things should help out the network. So it's going to be a good year. We just want to continue to see those upgrades hit outdated, non-modernized tower sites for Verizon, AT&T adding, C-band, and then for T-Mobile, same process, improving and increasing coverage, matching the other two carriers, and working on their reliability, and continue to try to reach parity in network coverage. What do you guys think of all this? Excited about this? Have you seen some of it maybe? I know I've seen the benefits for AT&T for some people. I'm waiting to see what Verizon is going to be doing with that 850 megahertz, moving it from CDMA. And T-Mobile's been upgrading like crazy the last couple of years. And so as, for 2022 was a big year for Verizon and AT&T. We'll see if those things continue. They should. The money's getting spent. Tens of billions of dollars, folks, to make these networks great. Sound off in the comment section below. You all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Like, share, and subscribe for more. Turn on that bell notification icon to never miss an upload. Links are in the description for all things going on with the channel. Big shout out to my YouTube members and patrons. Thanks for all your continued support on those platforms and making content on this channel possible. You guys have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace.